All right, there we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Megan Tull here, entrepreneur success strategist, passion expert, and best-selling author of The Passion Belief Method, Own Your Value and Earn Your Worth in Business. Welcome to the Earn Your Worth Entrepreneur Expert Series. We're on episode 8. Now, today we're going to be talking about setting yourself free and empowering your life by setting well-defined boundaries in your life and business. This is so crucial to having that quality of life and, really truly designing a lifestyle business. So I have a ton of valuable content for you today. So I don't want to miss anything. So bear with me. If you don't mind, I'm going to be referring to my notes here. So let's dive in. All right, setting and maintaining clear boundaries is an essential ingredient in any home, career, or business. For women in particular, this can be very difficult and very challenging for us to be able to uphold these boundaries because we're always, wanting to do for others, and we have our caring hearts and the desire to please others. So we are more inclined to stay silent rather than to rock the boat or upset anybody, such as a loved one, friend, colleague, or client. So establishing guidelines for how and when you do things in your personal and business life doesn't have to feel like harsh rules or red tape. Boundaries actually come from having a good sense of your own self-worth. And think of setting boundaries as a way to honor your time so you can offer the best of yourself to your family and all of those around you. So first, you want to take time to set up your boundaries. Secondly, you want to make sure that everybody is aware of your boundaries. This way, when issues do arise, it's much easier to be able to take a stand and to ask that the boundaries be honored. Okay, so everybody has to be on the same page for this to work. So I'm going to share with you some areas that are common to set boundaries around. So the first one is setting up your calendar. And what we're doing here is setting up your calendar to accommodate your priorities first. So creating solid boundaries when it comes to your priorities in your life is going to be key to your happiness. Remember, I talked about if you want to really create that lifestyle business and be fulfilled in your life, this is where that starts. So you first want to plug into your calendar, not all your business meetings and client meetings and marketing stuff. You want to first start with family priorities. Assuming your family is your priority, right? I hope that's the case. So anyway, so all family obligations, activities, important meetings for your family, all of those things need to go on the calendar first to ensure that you have plenty of time to spend with your family. That's often the reason why people get into business for themselves in the first place, is to make sure that they have freedom in their schedule and they have time to spend more time with their family. But often this isn't the case because we're not plugging in our priorities and our family obligations first into our calendar. So after you do that, then you want to plug in all the things that are near and dear to your heart aside from family. So different events or activities. So this can be your exercise, or different events you want to attend that are important to you. All right. Then is when you start looking at business. And you always want to put in your income producing activities into your calendar first. Then you'll go ahead and put in your marketing and program development blocks of time in there. And, then you could be putting in time to create your newsletter, your blogs, your social media posts, but those come after the income producing activities. Okay, so this kind of sets up a guideline of how to prioritize your calendar. The next area we're going to look at is relationships. Personal boundaries are the limits we set in relationships that allow us to protect ourselves. They make it possible for us to separate our own thoughts and feelings from those of others and to take responsibility for what we think, feel, and do. These boundaries allow us to rejoice in our uniqueness. Personal boundaries are flexible. They allow us to get close to others when it's appropriate and to maintain our distance from others when we feel harmed or we feel they're getting too close. So good boundaries protect us from abuse and pave the way to achieving true intimacy. They help us take care of ourselves. And when it comes to working relationships, it's really up to you, the coach or consultant or service giver, to first of all be crystal clear on who you want to work with. That's a big one. And by the way, later I'm going to give you an opportunity to help you be able to do that and get clear on who that might be for you and your business. But then, when you're working with your clients, you want to be able to outline the boundaries and set expectations. Who's expected to do what moving forward? Okay, so important to have that healthy relationship and be really clear on expectations and set boundaries around those so you can honor them. All right, then the next area we're going to look at is work time in your home or office. Often working in an office with coworkers, or if you have a home office, this can present many challenges or disruptions to take place. So whether you're working in a co-working space or in an office, staff members will probably come and bother you frequently throughout the day. Or if you're working at home, your kiddos or your spouse might interrupt you and take you away from your work. So it's really important to make sure those around you know what your working hours are and when you do not want to be disturbed. Okay, so make sure that you're honoring that time that you blocked out of your schedule to work and be focused. The next area we're going to look at is limited time available to spend with clients or customers. When you're working with clients, it's important to respect your time and their time. Making sure that you maintain control over the conversation, especially if your client gets off track and starts telling their whole life story and wants to babble on and on. It's really up to you to kind of reel them back in, or even set it up in the beginning, how the call's going to work, and you're going to ask them some questions, and you will possibly interrupt them when you've gotten all you need, because you want to make sure that you're honoring the time and covering what you want to cover during the session. So it's perfectly okay to set up those expectations at the beginning of the call. And then also refrain from feeling the need to over-deliver. We talked about this yesterday when we were talking about how we could give our time, gifts, and talents away. So again, set boundaries around that, making sure you're only talking about the things that you've committed to in the program. And again, this is going to only help them so they don't feel overwhelmed with too much information. You want to keep it clear, concise, let them know up front, again, how much time you have together and what they can expect that you'll be covering during the conversation. All right. Then you want to make sure that you're only choosing to do the things that allow you to maintain your integrity and upholds your values. So first of all, obviously you need to make sure that you are really clear on what your priorities are and what your core values are. That's kind of a lesson in itself, but when you're clear on the things that are important to you in your life and you're clear what your values are, kind of the standards or guidelines by which you personally live by, then it helps when you're making decisions moving forward, deciding if something that was offered to you is in alignment with your values. And I always like to look at it as okay, is this in alignment with my values? Is this going to take me closer to my goals? Because if you can't answer yes to both of those things, chances are you should probably decide to decline and say no. Because we can get off track very easily, right? So you must know how to say no. And you don't have to be, bitchy about it or anything. If you feel like you don't want to move forward with somebody, but you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, you could just simply say, no, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity. It really means a lot, but my plate is just so full right now. And I can't take on any additional opportunities at this time. That's it, right? So don't be afraid to say no, and making sure that you are focusing and doing the things that are in alignment with your goals, and allows you to remain in integrity and putting your priorities and values first. All right, then the last one we're going to talk about is payment agreements with your clients or loans to friends and family members. This is another area that I think can often cause us to get frustrated if we are not handling this properly. So making sure when you're working with clients, for example, and you're setting up payment plans, or even with a loan for a friend or family, that, again, the expectations and the payment agreement and the terms are 100% clear from the get-go. So be sure to outline specific dates of when payments are expected to take place and for what amount and what specific method of payment. So don't leave any stone unturned here. Be very, very thorough when you're talking about this. Now, if you are creating maybe a payment plan for a client and there's interest, you have to be very upfront about that too. And so letting them know what they can expect in terms of interest payment. All right, moving on here. So it is so important to know what you want, because how do you set clear, defined boundaries in your life if you don't even know what you want, right? So many people have serious trouble even knowing what they want. And this baffles me, but it's very common. Just first of all, not really knowing what you want or being clear on that, but then certainly not feeling comfortable communicating it once they do know what they want. So it's really important to be able to understand what you want, communicate it, and state it clearly. People in general also have difficulties creating solutions to their problems because they don't know what they want. Or if they don't know, they can't express it to someone else. So we often grow up suppressing our desires, sometimes to the extent of not being able to be aware of them. And again, when we're dealing with women, we're talking about women, we're always doing for everyone else. And sometimes we suppress our own deep wants and desires, right? So take some time to really uncover what it is you truly want, and then believe that you can achieve it. That belief will fuel your desire, and then you can take the necessary action steps towards your goal, resulting in obtaining what you truly desire. So I know that's not really our topic, but it's so important to understand what that is for you, because everything you do in your life and business is going to be supporting that. Now, by setting clear, well-defined boundaries in your life and business, you'll be able to increase your focus and productivity. It will allow you to free up time in your life so you can truly enjoy your life and business without sacrificing the things that are most important to you. This is essential to live a fulfilled life and crucial to reaching your business goals. All right, so I have a very special gift. As I'd mentioned earlier in the training, this is one of my all-time favorite blueprints, and I want to provide this tool with you. So if we're talking about, setting boundaries around who you want to work with and how to work with specific clients. Now, I think also setting boundaries around specifically making sure you are only working with your ideal star clients. So sometimes we're not sure who those are, what that looks like exactly. So I want to offer you as a free gift today my Attracting Your High-End Star Clients Blueprint. So this is a really strategic plan that's going to help you get crystal clear on your specific ideal target client. You're going to learn how you can best serve that ideal target client and how to get in front of quality clients, individuals that are ready to invest in your products and services. And I'm talking about fully invest into your high-end programs and services. So I'm going to provide a link for you to be able to access that free gift right underneath the video, or above the video, sorry. All right, and so I'm going to also invite you to join me tomorrow, because if you're ever feeling stuck or super uncreative and you're having to maybe create a new program or come up with some idea, I have a great way for you to be able to start getting your creative juices flowing. So join me tomorrow to learn how to do that. Now, if you enjoyed today's video, please comment below, share it with your friends, and like it. I would really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, be courageous, take inspired action, and go out there and share your gifts with the world. Bye-bye for now.